has a lot of confidence in our law enforcement. You know, we judge ourselves by our best intentions. Sometimes society judges us by our most recent bad outcome, and I see that. But I know that the folks in this community, they have confidence that tomorrow's headlines aren't going to say, San Angelo police surrender to bank robbery. Sheriff's office allows hostage takers to escape. Those headlines aren't going to happen because the men and women that decide to get up every morning and put on a badge, they've accepted the challenge to give whatever it takes, even if it's for all. And that, to me, is the purpose of Police Week. For us as law enforcement and for you as a community to know that whatever price has to be paid, there's always been a price to be paid, but we've never been unwilling to pay it. National Police Week reminds us of that we have to be physically and mentally ready to respond to whatever the challenge is to keep our community safe. So, I'm going to ask Congressman Pfluger if you'd come up. We're actually going to present a flag to families and law enforcement representatives of individuals that have given their life in the line of duty. Now, there's thousands of officers, and so we've selected 19 either from this area or ties to this area. So as I call your name, I'm going to ask that you come up and receive a flag. For your thoughts and for your prayers. So today we have two speakers, and our first keynote speaker is Texas Ranger Major Wayne Matthews. Major Matthews sacrificed a good portion of his Mother's Day to travel yesterday to be with us this morning. He's well respected in the Texas Ranger ranks, and we are honored to have him as our guest speaker today. Thank you.
Matthews. I'm the Texas Ranger Major for company. I'm honored to be here today to start off Police Week. When invited to this, the sheriff assured me that there was no difference between public servant and public speaker, but I'm here today to show that difference. So just bear with me. He said there'd be about 3 people in his conference room, and so I feel like maybe he pulled one over on me here. But when pondering about what to say today, I chose to make a few observations about the profession, values, and changes that are our new reality. In law enforcement, we often respond to disaster areas and provide a multitude of services to affected communities. It has been my experience that during these responses, 3 institutions are consistently present to restore and protect communities. They are churches, fire stations, and law enforcement. Those often appreciated the least are needed the most when disaster strikes. Is it for their loyalty to humanity? Does it remind us of our own mortality or the realization that we are strong together? Or for the divine good we see in people or the common good we can achieve? I think we rise to the occasion to uphold the wholesome values that truly represent our society. You can usually judge these things for yourself during times of chaos and uncertainty. Our profession always steps up, and no matter the sacrifice or risk, even if some see us as unnecessary or want to blame us for their struggles in life. We are the first to arrive and the last to leave. We are the line between anarchy and a fragile civilized society. Our oath to the Constitution and our communities is what we hold dear and sacrifice for, to include the ultimate sacrifice of being killed in the line of duty. It is the most excruciating and tragic experience that we have in this job. The loss is unimaginable and indescribable. We must remember those that have paid the ultimate price and their families left behind to pay the price many times over, agonizing and suffering with only memories. Their lives have been broken in a way that cannot be healed or soothed, not even with the passage of time. Commit these brave men and women to your memory and prayers. The families need your support and recollection more than you know. In the last several years, it seems the antagonistic environment we are expected to thrive in has become a trendy commonplace. The onslaught of accusations or snaring circumstances can be demoralizing. There are efforts to not just demoralize our profession, though. I think these are efforts to demoralize our nation. Your attendance here today tells me those efforts are futility. You are the glue that holds society and civility together. We all share an awareness and love for our fellow man and country that is our common good. I am proud of my peers and fellow officers that have maintained their professionalism and optimism to see the best of society and the public we protect and defend. We have endured and continue to endure. Bravery is one thing, but resiliency of character is the most common test in our profession. At a tremendous personal cost, you defend and protect the public and the nation. This profession is a calling. Something deep within your soul and spirit brought you here today as a peace officer. Your moral sense of duty and sacrifice is what you share with the men and women that wear the badge. I can think of nothing better I could have done with my life. I know you all feel the same, and your choice to stand here today is inspiring to countless others. You have a profound impact on this community and its visitors. Lives have been saved and improved because you, in your protection and your sacrifices. Even a small deed or interaction can have a ripple effect that unknowingly changes things for the better. You may not have the satisfaction of knowing how or when, but I promise you, you make a difference. This world and this community are a far better place because of each one of you. Your value and unique character are the fabric that are a thin blue line. As I said earlier, when the chips are down, it is you that is called upon to restore order, pursue justice, and protect others. Occasionally we hear that those do not wish this noble profession upon their aspiring friends and family. Those inspired to follow in our footsteps should be staunchly advocated. My son has embarked upon his law enforcement journey, and I could not be prouder. Even though I'm worried for him, I know it's up to the next generation to carry the torch and protect what has been built. Pushing and encouraging the next generation requires vigilance and optimism. Some of our best and brightest among us are in the form of family and friends. They have ambitions we should support, encourage, and nurture. The next generation of law enforcement will have many challenges ahead and will need our experienced ethical compass by which to navigate. To the generation before and now serving, you have and still carry a heavy load. Now more than ever, the expectations in critical environment are harsh and demanding. I want you to know that you are recognized and appreciated despite mischaracterizations of unfortunate events. At times you may feel there is an effort to convince you that the law-abiding public is bitter towards law enforcement. That is the fantasy of radicals and thugs. Please remember that the voice of a few misfits does not represent the respect and honor our profession deserves and is given. When someone says thank you for your service, they truly mean it. That gratitude resonates in my heart and in the hearts and minds of your community. The public we serve knows the truth about the nefarious campaigns of a few to discredit the good and legitimate in our society. Please continue to hold your head high, remain dignified and competent in all that you do and encounter. Take exceptional care of yourself and one another. Remember, your mental health is just as important as your physical health. Take care of both. Kiss your loved ones and know that their absence is worrisome to them. Your absence is worrisome to them. Your life now and when you retire matters. But matters most of all to your loved ones. Be safe and make it home in one piece. And keep enough of yourself to have a strong mind and body once you have completed your law enforcement journey. I'm honored to be here today and very much appreciate your time and invitation. God bless you all. God bless Texas. God bless our United States.
Thank you, Major. Appreciate it. Congressman August Pfluger, maybe a few remarks.
When Sheriff Hanna calls, you answer that call and you come. When Chief Carter calls, you answer that call. And I want to tell each and every one of you that are serving, that have raised your hand, have spoken that oath, and have put that uniform on, thank you for your service, thank you for your dedication, thank you for being part of the community. that really cares about you. It really is an honor to be here today to kick off Police Week, to say thank you. And what you just heard from the Texas Ranger is exactly right. When your community says thank you to you, they really mean it. We really believe it and we really feel it. And I want to talk to this group right here for just a second. I can't imagine the hardship, the hurt, the pain, the grieving process that you still go through every single day. The family, the friends, the colleagues. It's something that most people in the community don't understand, but I think they appreciate it. And I think that today is one of those times where the community comes out to say thank you to you. I hope that those flags will be a constant reminder, not just from your community, but from your country, to say thank you for being willing to stand up, because it is the families who allow law enforcement personnel to do that. So, from a grateful nation, from a grateful community, from a grateful state, thank you for being willing to be a colleague, to be a friend, a parent, a spouse, a family member, to those who are willing to sacrifice it all for our community. Now, last year I had the opportunity to go and meet with the NYPD. And I wanted to take about 2 days to understand from their perspective what it means in a post 9/11 world to serve in a place like New York City. And so we had a lot of different activities that were planned. We talked about counterterrorism. We talked about all the things after 9/11 that have shaped our country and really happened right there at Ground Zero. We went to the museum, we went to Ground Zero, we talked to the police, we talked to the fire department, we talked to first responders in general about that day and about the legacy that is carried on. But you know, one of the things that I got a chance to talk to one of the police officers there, he had been in the department for almost 20 years. I got a chance to ride around with him in his vehicle to different places. We went to the port, we visited the port, and talked about some of the issues that they have there. And I said, how is it being a police officer here in New York City? And he said, it's the greatest honor of my lifetime. And I said, well, is it challenging? He said, it's the biggest challenge you've ever seen. I said, tell me about that. He said, when he came in as a new recruit, they had a police chief that taught them about the broken window theory. That as a community, if you don't take care of those broken windows, then those broken windows eventually become bigger and bigger crimes. And he said when he came in, that the community was taking care of those broken windows, that there was accountability. And it's not just, there's three parts to it. It's not just from the law enforcement part, you see, because I think that all throughout the country, that you, whether you're in the sheriff's department, whether you're in the police department, whether you're a Texas Ranger, whether you're a state trooper, or any other part of law enforcement, I think the spirit is the same. I think the spirit to serve, to be willing to put it on the line, to protect and to serve every single day, I think that's the same throughout our country. But what this officer told me, and the disappointing thing that I think we see throughout the country, thankfully we don't see it here, but he said in New York City that there wasn't a real political will to take care of those broken windows and to have accountability at the low level, things that may not seem like a big deal. You know it's a big deal. This community right here knows it's a big deal, but you take care of it before it grows into something that becomes too large and maybe somewhat challenging to take care of. I said, where do you live? And he told me, he said he lives about an hour away from New York City. I said, well, how do you get to the city each day? How long does it take you? He said, it takes me an hour to get in, and then I start my 10-hour shift, and it takes me an hour to get home. Every single day that he's on duty. Can you imagine? And I said, well, how do you get into the city? Do you take public transportation? He said, oh no. He said, that's too dangerous. He said, and if I'm in an off-duty status and we see something, then we're going to be required to help out. And he said, but our community doesn't have the political will to help us out. If we're going to take care of an incident on the subway or maybe on a public bus or in any other public transportation. You know, I thought to myself how sad that is. And here's somebody that 20 years ago signed up because they wanted to protect and serve. They wanted to be in the NYPD. He loves his colleagues. He loves his brethren. He loves his community. It doesn't change the desire to serve, but here's what I want to tell you today. We are blessed to live in this community. Because I know that the spirit of each of you, every morning that you wake up when you put that uniform on, is to protect and serve. But you know who else knows that? The entire community. But they would never let that happen, what's happening in other places, like New York City, because even if you're off duty and you see something, you are going to react and you're going to serve in that capacity at that moment, because you're not running away from the challenge, you're not running away from the fire, you're running towards it at all times. But you have a community that believes in you and supports you. I mean, I just met 6 or 7 children from a local school that are here to celebrate you this morning. Their teachers brought them here because they believe in you. They believe in what you do. And the third part of it is you have the political will here in this community with people like Judge Lane Carter, who stand up for you every single day, with the mayor and the city council and county commissioners and a DA who are willing to stand up to have that accountability. Sheriff, thank you. Chief Carter, thank you for your leadership. And to the men and women and the families, please know that this week is about a community telling you thank you for your service. We can't do it without you. We believe in you. The Concho Valley believes in you. And we believe in this tent right here in recognizing the real heroes who didn't do it for money, they didn't do it for fame, they didn't do it for glory, they did it because they don't want that broken window to develop into something else. And you know what? Those kids and those people who have that broken window incident in this community, I believe that they learned that lesson, and that accountability leads to good citizenship. And that's because of all of you cared enough to stand up and do the right thing. When I go to Washington, D.C. tomorrow morning, I can promise you that on both sides of the aisle there are men and women who represent districts just like me that are going to be telling you thank you all week long. In fact, we're going to have a hearing on my committee to tell you thank you like we've done in the past. And I hope you know from the bottom of our hearts here in the Tom Green County and the Concho Valley area that we believe in you. And we appreciate your sacrifice more than you'll ever know. God bless this great country that we live in, and thank you for your sacrifice and your service.
Praise it!